Hi everyone, this is Neetu Jawle, your friend. Those who personally don't know me, let me tell you, I am a relationship coach. First of all, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you who are willing to take their precious time to be part of this program. Today, being the first session, we are going to touch the most important aspect of our consciousness, that is self-awareness. As Gary Vaynerchuk once said, when you know who you are, everything changes. I feel self-awareness is introducing you to yourself. Knowing self means learning how to unlearn. It's a very similar process as of excavation. Excavation is used to find valuable historic treasure. Here, our treasure is discovering our own self, our true qualities. Here, we are using the process of excavation for removing all unwanted layers of cultural conditioning, other people's opinion, and inaccurate conclusions we drew as a child, and while we grew up, it became our beliefs of who we are. What is awareness? Knowledge or perception of a situation or fact? Well, we are all aware of everything during our lifetime, except the one thing, that's our own self. Most of the time we ignore or try to escape from that. You know why? Because it's very easy to answer, advise, or blame others, but it is most difficult to confront our own self. Or maybe we have never consciously paid attention to our own self. Let me make it more simpler for you. Have you seen someone around you who is constantly nagging and blaming people and the circumstances around? Or do you know someone who wants to have complete control over everything, especially people around, and the person doesn't like to be questioned on anything at all? Or you know someone who is angry all the time and people around that person are always on the edge. Or you might have known someone who is always compromising and quiet and doesn't want to be part of any conflict. And the answer is yes, we have seen so many people like them in our lifetime. Well, be it anger, control, denial, compromise, or blaming, we all have something or the other, and most of us have our own way of resisting anything and everything. And these are very popular defense mechanisms used to protect our ideal image of ourselves. Defense mechanism is subconsciously used in order to cope up the difficult situations and feelings. We actually don't know how to deal with these unwanted feelings. And these unwanted feelings reflect in the form of patterns. If we see within, we have multiple layers of unwanted conditioning which have turned out to be our patterns. The real work starts when we start identifying these patterns and accept and embrace them. Is acceptance so important? The answer is yes. When humans go through any problem, the first stage is denial. And the last stage is acceptance. In between, there are multiple stages. If you ask me, unless we don't accept, we are not willing to make any change. Let me tell you about my own patterns and conditioning. I was a girl from small town, fortunately good in academics and extracurricular activities. When I say this, I mean being intelligent doesn't mean being self-aware. I was a very obedient child. I used to do exactly what I was told to. It was a set pattern for me, and the result was I could never say no to anyone. Now, all the parents in the group, I would like you to introspect. Check your child's patterns. Generally, they are found by the age of 8 to 10. What is your child's defense mechanism? Which pattern is the child using to resist any change? You will have a variety here. Some kids would be aggressive, some would be gullible, or some would be quiet. These are their guards to protect their own identity, which they have created over a period of time. When we defend ourselves, we compromise on the quality of our emotions, and we are not in charge of our own emotions. That's a sign we are not self-aware. What are the other signs? Not having a good relationship with your spouse, or your kids, or your parents, or maybe your friends as well. Sometimes facing challenges in your professional life where you need to have leadership skills, as you cannot lead unless you are in charge of your own emotions. According to various studies conducted, only 10 to 15% people are self-aware. Is it an area of concern? Yes, it is. But the good news is, self-awareness can be cultivated and can be practiced regularly. It is not a fixed trait. Let's find how. Let me share with you how did I become self-aware. My patterns were so fixed that they didn't leave me for a long time. Even after my marriage, people and place changed, but my patterns didn't. It was a state of complete ignorance where I was looking for some miracle to happen. Why it took so long? Because I thought I was perfect and nothing was wrong with me, and everything around me needed to get fixed. I was looking for an external change, but what was missing that? I was looking at the wrong place. It took me a long time to realize, how can somebody find, or how can I find myself outside of me and among other people? The only thing which kept my drive alive was my persistence to seek and my belief that good things happening to good people. And I considered myself as a good person. In the meantime, one of our friends introduced me to a program. I learned something very profound there. That I don't know that I don't know. It gave me a head start. What I discovered, my patterns were the root cause of my conflicts in life. I started to work on myself. Let me tell you, it's not an overnight process. It took me few years to excavate and find myself, which was hidden deep inside under so many myths and beliefs. I peeled layer by layer and dug deeper. But when I found myself, I found my purpose. As Aristotle once said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. I realized my life is not limited to me and my family. I am capable of supporting people around me to discover themselves. And that's where true calling was born. The difference when you're driven by your patterns, and now when I'm making a conscious choice at every step, makes me see two different worlds, and they both are mine. Making a conscious choice is so much empowering that we don't experience it till we actually make it. And knowing ourselves completely is such an extraordinary state, which evolves us and gets us closer to our purpose of life. Self-awareness is about knowing yourself more. Knowing yourself means understanding your strengths and weaknesses, your passions and fears, your likes and dislikes, your freedom and limitations. Knowing yourself means knowing your purpose of life. For all the beginners here, I would recommend you 2 exercises in order to raise your self-awareness. Exercise 1. Can you write 5 strengths and 5 weaknesses? You have to write your 5 strengths and weaknesses. Would you share it with 5 most important people in your life? And be ready to listen for a genuine feedback. Exercise 2. Can you identify your habits or patterns which you use for your own defense mechanism, and which unwanted feeling are you avoiding here? You all can take your time because it's going to take a while. Let me tell you, these 2 simple exercises are likely going to create a new room for yourself. This is your first step to make a better version of yourself. So, everyone, all the best, and let's get started. Before I end, I would like to tell you that tomorrow we are going to discuss about power of belief and explore the connection between self-awareness and belief. So that's all for today. Thank you everyone. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned.